of speed that he can in this 88 car.
A 3-time Brickyard 400 winner leading a 2-time Brickyard 400 winner.
And right now, he's a little bit faster than Jeff Gordon.
Trouble turn 2. Caution flags out. Ryan Newman punched the wall. And who's in the black car? Is that guy 8th in points?
Okay, the field is frozen.
Hard to tell by that angle.
Let's try this one.
Well, if there's 2 of them involved and they're both spinning,
yeah,
chances are there was some contact between them.
Question, was the 12 passing the 25 on the outside, or was the 25 trying to go by the...
Oh, turn 2. Ryan Newman tried, and he finally dumped David Gilliland. Newman had hit him about 3 times before, and that was the charm out of turn 2.
But look who paid as big a price as Ryan Newman in the 39.
I'm not sure this fight's over with.
This went on for 3 straight laps. Newman trying to get by with the bumper. And Gilliland ended up.
What's the guy coming out of this 38 car? I think he might be a little ticked.
Would not be the least bit surprised.
He's trying to get out of his car. I know that.
Well, I know who I would be ticked at if I was in that 39 crew and he's getting out of the race car and he's going to go over and confront Mr. Newman.
We'll have to talk to the drivers to find out what happened, but from our point of view, that was uncalled for.
Well, if you're Ryan Newman's team, you've got a destroyed race car. That's what makes no sense.
Well, it's the 5th caution of the day, and it comes out right at lap 300. 100 miles to go in Dover. As Ryan Newman turned David Gilliland around. And that discussion probably going to continue for a while.
Neither one of them look very happy, that's for sure. And
Darrell, there's a bit of racing etiquette. You get to somebody's bumper and you give them a little shot that says, I'm here, I caught you, I'm quicker, I want to get by you. But tempers boil over on a hot day in Dover.
that was some
in the backstretch, a lot of debris.
That's a shame. Dave Blaney had a great car all night long.
Well, they almost wrecked them all going down into turn 1. Got over into turn 2 over there. A car spun and collected these other cars.
It was Ryan Newman, the rookie, who went sideways in the backstretch. And there the track crews are talking to Ryan, trying to help him out.
Like you said, Mike, there's no way we can stop this race. You'd have to stop it right now, and there's no way to do that.
Jeff Green.
Based on what I've seen, I would be ill-advised if they did.
There's Newman out of the car, taking off the support, the Hutchins device.
We are hearing that they will not throw a red flag. They'll be coming to 2 to go, so this race is going to end under caution, it looks like.
And NASCAR's policy on red flags is they will only red flag the race if they have enough laps to clean up the incident, get the race restarted, and in this case, they do not.
You almost have to have about 4 or more to go before you can do that.
I'm not going to say anything, because we still got a couple laps to go here.
It's never over till it's over. But once Dale Earnhardt Jr. got up alongside Michael Waltrip and Rusty Wallace dropped underneath, the game was afoot. The first save was Todd and Jeff Bodine, the 2 brothers right there.
There they go. Now it looks like they're going to wreck here. They save it.
That's Newman outside them, I believe.
Come down into. I think
Darrell, Ryan Newman had a tire smoking. I believe he had a tire go down
right there. There's a good shot. I think that here you go. They get into it right there. That's going to cut down a tire, I guarantee you. Left rear tire. They go off in the corner. You're going to see a little smoke here now, I believe. See,
yep, there it is. There it is. A left side tire going down.
That thing's going to blow the left rear tire, and it's going to spin off the corner over here. There it goes. Caught the side of the 21. There went the 29. Oh, that 19 just squeezed through.
There's a lot of cars that just squeezed by right there. Of course, Dave Blaney, the 77's one that
And you
did
can
not.
see that the left rear tire is down and off the wheel.
That's what made him come around right there. He gets in the side of Elliott Sadler, the 21.
Looks like, you see, the tire lets go completely right here, and it comes around then.
Let's ride with Jeremy Mayfield. That's Newman right in front of him.
He's got to see the smoke, and that's just he doesn't. Now he sees him spin. Can't see anything right there. Squeezes by. If you can see the other side of his car, that was close.
Because you just don't know which way he's going to go up there as he come up on the backstretch.
And all season long, and right here especially, I've got to give an attaboy to our cameramen, our tape operators, our replay producers for being able to share all of these images with you instead of all of us wondering what happened. Great job, fellas and girls, and thanks for all of it.
That's Buffy, Michael's wife, and she's just like I am. She's not going to say anything yet.
They will be coming to the white flag this time, being waved along with the caution flag.
Jimmy Johnson turned into the wall. He's collected Ryan Newman. Sam Hornish also involved.
They lost 3 positions on their pit stop. I don't know if they had a problem or whatever it was, but get you back a little bit further, and these are the kind of things that happen. Usually we see them after people have trouble on pit stops.
Oh, Sam got squeezed.
Yeah, that's just the wild restart we were anticipating the time before. Exactly what we see this time.
Yeah, I think Jimmy thought that Sam had a lane to come up. He didn't, because he had that 39 Ryan Newman right up there beside him. Looked like the first contact was actually Newman hitting the wall.
Boy, look at the sparks flying in that shot. The little bits of metal hitting the racetrack coming off those race cars.
Clear high. Got a guy inside. Check up, check up, check up. Just watch them here. They're blocking the track. Stay high. Get up to speed before they hit you. Come on. Watch them here to come back down. Watch this guy. There you go. Good job. Come on. This other one's smoking for that big fire. Watch him coming to the top.
Yep.
I didn't see much. I know I got run out of room. It was not my fault, but it was just, racing. It looked like the 48 just ran everybody out of room. And it's unfortunate. Our U.S. Army Chevrolet, we had caught 2 bad breaks. The lucky dog, the one time the 27 got it like a half a lap before the yellow come out, and then the 99 caused it. He was the lucky dog by like a half a lap, and it was just unfortunate. We got one chore to do with the U.S. Army team, and that's go into Richmond and win. We've done it before. I can do it again.
So big picture, what are your thoughts? How do you now approach that race?
It all depends. I mean, if Kyle or Jeff win tonight, then there's no chance. But we still have a chance if they don't.
The right front tire is not under me. Front not working for the 18, Doc. Back behind them, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 5th place. Track bar change, 4 tires, lap 123. Oh, trouble on the racetrack, guys.
Contact between Juan Pablo Montoya and Ryan Newman sends Newman crashing, and Jeff Burton is collected.
That's too bad for Jeff Burton. He had a good run going. Because this is the danger of that split strategy. You get back there, you got to stay out of trouble. Sometimes trouble finds you.
We can fix it. We got to do what we got to do to get back out right here.
I'll explain the meaning of that radio transmission that we got to fix it and get back out on Newman's team in a minute, but they're going to have a hard time doing that. It was a race between Ryan Newman and Juan Pablo Montoya that started this whole thing.
Wow, Montoya really gets into the left rear. No chance for Newman to save that one.
I saw that from Montoya last week at Michigan at the high-speed track there, too.
Newman had been struggling some, and he had been holding up some cars, and still no excuse for that.
No excuse for that. Jimmy Johnson had a tough time passing, but he was able to.
Off the bottom. They got two
Wreck, back, wreck. Big wreck. 3 cars around in the middle of the back straightaway. Ryan Newman is in it. Through the grass goes the 37, excuse me, Travis Kvapil. Newman's car destroyed.
That's the army of none right there. None left.
And there is Travis Kvapil. Looks like he'll get back to pit road without a whole lot of damage.
I think they just get a little bit wadded up back in there. Boy, it was a hard lick.
That was a hard lick
for the 39 car.
Somebody turned.
Elliott Sadler got loose.
Yeah, he got loose, and here they all come and just piled in.
The 19 of Elliott Sadler.
Look at that 39 car. Those splitters. They're like snow plows.
Wow, Bill Elliott just missed Kvapil.
What a miss.
Top of your screen.
Yeah, you see Sadler, he just gets loose as Newman's going by, and he clips Newman in the right rear and just turns him straight into the fence.
I know Ryan Newman won this race a couple of years ago, and we're getting a report Newman's out of his car. Everybody's out of their cars. But I'm telling you, other than that win in the Daytona 500, restrictor plate racing has been hard on Ryan Newman.
Not good to him. I still have visions of him flipping over down the front straightaway here a couple of 3 years ago. Talladega flipping over.
There's Ryan Newman in the black suit, making the walk to the ambulance for the mandatory ride to the care center.
But Larry, I know we're Daytona, we're not Talladega, but I haven't seen any of these race cars look like they want to get up in the air.
No, I think, you know, Jeff Hammond talked about it earlier, you know, the extension of that shark fin down the back window and making that one on the window taller. It increased the liftoff speed by 8 to 10 miles an hour, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Everybody's in it, Jeff Hammond. I don't want to jinx anybody. Junior and Riggs
together right there, the 10 car. 8 get together.
But still no major wreck. Junior currently running 6th. And the last time we had everybody.
Whoa, I've got trouble right there. Mike Wallace is around right there. Matt Kent's is also.
And this will take some people out of the race, no doubt, Mike.
And Jeff, that was right at the same point in the pack. Scott Riggs got turned up to the high side. And look how many cars pile in.
I'm seeing 11 cars here on the backstretch. This is 11 cars. I don't think that we're involved.
The accident happened at the exact same point on the racetrack where Riggs got up into Dale Jr. 1 lap ago, the one you saw on replay. Joe Nemechek's car won't run.
Are you all right? Scott.
All right, there's Ryan Newman, Dave Blaney, Scott Riggs, Jason.
I know you probably got the wind knocked out of you. If you can hear me, just key to mic so we know you're.
That's Ricky Rudd. There are, looks like the parking lot. It looks like the line of cars trying to get out of here after the race. Casey Kane's day may be done.
I believe I see the nose of Rusty Wallace, the 2 car, Mike Bliss, the 0. Here's Sterling Marlin in the 40.
The Volcano erupted.
Bobby Labonte in the 18 car.
That little smoke we saw from the 10 and the 8, that was the first sign right there.
Had Mike Wallace, Casey Mears, Rusty Wallace, Kyle Busch, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Scott Wimmer. I think that's
the 09 back there.
The 99 of Carl Edwards. Brian Vickers, Mark Martin.
And of course, Mark wanted to not take 4 tires where he would not be in the back of the pack, and he was still involved. Matt Kenseth in the 17.
Let's see how this started coming out of the tri-oval right to the start-finish line.
Yeah, there was some contact here. Dale Jr. was pushing on the 10 car. Dale Jr. goes to the middle. That shoots the 10 up the outside here.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson up
Then the
into Mike
48
Wallace.
got into the 40. The 48 got into Mike Wallace, and that's all it took.
It was on from there.
Watch the 4 car. Watch it wiggle. See the 4 car start to get loose right there. See the back coming around, and that turns the left front into the right rear of the 48 car, and that's what started the whole thing.
Let's listen to Junior's onboard, see if that helps determine what happened here.
Rewind.
Well, the first contact is between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mike Wallace, but also you've got Jimmy Johnson starting to come up the racetrack a bit.
Well, I think what happened was when the 8 bumped the 4 car, it made the 4 car wiggle just a little bit. It makes it appear that the 48 came up, but I think that actually what happened was the 4 started to go to the left just ever so slightly.
Yeah, it was not much.
Yeah, and made contact with the 48.
Look how quickly, though, the racetrack clogged the whole width of the racetrack as this unfolds. Track's blocked.
And another big crash on the backstretch, Rick.
Man, and right up in front of more traffic.
Behind you in 3.
Ryan Newman's in it.
David Reagan is in it.
Well,
Fire.
And Chris Buescher was in it as well.
Chris Buescher involved. The 83 of Dylan Lupton up on top of the 31. The Fire underneath the hood of the 23. And the 14 of Tony Stewart.
So he's ripped the whole lines out of the 14.
Stop right here, they said.
The 31 and the 14. There's some contact right here heading into turn 1. The 31 accelerates, gets inside the 14 as they enter the backstretch.
And we've seen this several times. The cars haven't, getting into turn 1, and the 14 just kept coming down on the 31 on the back straightaway. Wasn't happy maybe with what went on in turn 1, and
big impact by the 23, and you see right there Chris Buescher kind of bounces between them.
Yeah.
Luckily gets through, but that was a really big impact for the 23 of David Reagan. It was great to see him climb out. This would be a great view of it, Jeff.
Outside 14. 19 straight back, looking inside tight, inside tight, inside tight. We got wrecked hard right here, got wrecked hard.
Carl Edwards in the 19 coming up the racetrack.
I mean, if you felt like that the 14 came down on the 31 and getting into turn 1, so the 23 really into the back of the 31 hard.
So unfortunate for David Reagan, but what this in essence does is it clinches the chase spot for Chris.
Well, I'm with Denny on this one. They'll never make it another lap or two, Denny. I just don't see no way. This is crazy. Crazy
They ain't
stuff.
gonna make it.
They got to make it 6 more times.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There was no way.
Bobby Labonte's in it. Stremmy's in it. Jeff Gordon down to the ground.
Nothing else coming from behind you.
And Kurt Busch went over and over.
Boyer, McMurray.
They're just, guys, I'm with Denny. And, having been in these situations several times, there's no way you can race that way and make it.
And for the 6th time in 7 Talladega races, a pile up in the last 8 laps. Look at Ryan Newman's wrecked race car. He's dropped the window net, assigned a safety cruise that he is okay.
The 78 car, Kurt Busch, it is destroyed. Right here, the 51 car, Owen Stenhouse, squeezes to the outside.
And that's Yaley,
and that shoved Yaley down. And look at that 78 car upside down and then lands on top of Ryan Newman's 39 car.
Bobby Labonte involved.
So it was Stenhouse, the rookie, trying to go 4 wide on the outside, running out of room with his number 17.
Yeah, and running out of time. I mean, he's, you know, desperate. And you see the 36 move down just a little bit. And Yaley and Stenhouse thought he could squeeze by on the next to the wall, and he just couldn't make it. And this kid's ugly. Watch this thing.
Right on top of Ryan Newman.
Hadn't Ryan Newman had cars on top of him before here?
I think the 2009 race.
I think you're right.
Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards coming to the checkered flag.
Boyer's 15 comes up, clogs the track. Both Labonte brothers involved. Stremme.
Jamie
Number of those
McMurray.
smaller teams on the way to a good finish here.
Jeff Gordon sliding down through the mud.
Now watch the 36. The red and white car comes up just a little bit. And that contact with Stenhouse was enough. Then he comes down into Ambrose, and it's on.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 just squeezed by.
There's Danica. She almost went over.
You see Danica up and against the wall with Terry Labonte.
Michael Waltrip in the 55 just barely squeezed by.
Let's ride with Danica for that 36 small 2-car team of Tommy Baldwin. And a tougher break for Kurt Busch. All drivers have climbed from their cars and are okay.
That is 3,300 pounds of race car flipping through the air like a feather.
But Darrell, it definitely looked like Stenhouse thought that Yaley had made just enough move to the inside that it was going to open up a big enough hole for him to get that 17 car.
Remember what we said in the opening? When you make a move, finish it. And that's kind of where I saw that 36. He started to make a move, but then he hesitated. Stenhouse didn't, and we get this big mess.
You're with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Whoa.
What a view. Looking back. Danica's car, the 10 back there, almost went over.
And now you're with Clint Boyer. This is Michael Waltrip.
Stand up. Stay high. Come on. Get down. Get down. Good, man.
Mikey may have scraped the wall with the right side.
Yeah, because he's actually already been to pit road in that 55 car.
Look at the tumble that Kurt Busch took right on top of hapless Ryan Newman.
Boy, Michael was really, he barely got through there.
Darrell talked about 3,300 pounds. A couple of changes NASCAR made to the roll cage at the top of the windshield was for hits just like that.
Yeah, they doubled up the bars around the front of the windshield up there where this windshield lays back a little bit more. It puts a little more angle on that bar that runs along the edge of the A post. They doubled it up.
In fact, they added another bar, and it's called the Newman bar.
The Newman bar. This is amazing stuff right here. Look at this.
And hats off to all of our NASCAR on Fox camera crew. They've been out in the weather for most of the 8 hours that we've been on the air to bring you these great pictures of a devastating pileup inside of 10 laps to go.
Hey, Denny.
Yes, sir.
What happened?
Well, I think we both know what happened.
That wasn't too hard to call, was it, brother?
And Ryan Newman has walked out okay. You experienced it firsthand, having that 78 coming towards you in the air. Describe this wild ride, Ryan.
First of all, to my family and friends, I'm doing this interview to let everybody know that I'm all right. They can build safer race cars, they can build safer walls, but they can't get their heads out of their asses far enough to keep them on the racetrack. And that's pretty disappointing. I wanted to make sure I get that point across. And y'all can figure out who they is, but that's no way to end a race. Our car was much better than that. It was just poor judgment and restarting the race, poor judgment. I mean, you got what you wanted, but poor judgment and running in the dark, running in the rain. It's just, that's it. Thank you.
We're glad you're okay.
And you got to realize something with Ryan Newman. He has had some horrendous wrecks here. That's not the first time he's had another car on top of his. And I remember, Larry, every restrictor plate race we went to seemed like Ryan had one of these unbelievable crashes like we just saw here.
Oh, yeah, until he finished 5th in this year's Daytona 500. It had been a bad run for him as far as Daytona and Talladega.
Waits till the last second and picks up.
He goes to the outside. Is Edwards going? Oh, no! Turns him.
No, no.
Oh, and that destroyed the front end of Newman's car.
No.
Edwards will not make it to the flag.
Oh,
Brad Keselowski won this race.
Unbelievable.
Carl Edwards' car destroyed, and Junior's protege, Keselowski, the winner, and Carl Edwards is moving around and ready to climb.
Tire trouble, turn one, hard, a car in the wall, and spinning down to the bottom. It's going to be 10 or more cars involved. Johnny Benson. Here they come to the flag, and everybody pretty much out of the throttle. Mayhem in turn one.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Want to check? He may have been involved in that. There he is right there.
I think he made it. He was so far in the back, Larry. I think he made it through. Idea about what happens here.
Darrell, I believe the 12 car, Ryan Newman, looks like he was out of shape, maybe starting to get loose by himself.
And Newman almost flipped over.
Remember, he had that hard crash at Daytona where he got on his roof back in February.
I can't imagine that there wasn't some sort of contact that started that, because that looked so violent. Man, that car was almost on its top right there. It hit that wall a ton.
Rusty Wallace, his teammate, the 2 cars involved.
As they come through, watch for the last 2 cars, which I believe, there's Earnhardt Jr. up high getting through with Schrader and Tony Raines. Jr. and Raines are the last 2 to get through from Rusty Wallace.
That was Ryan Newman's tire right there bouncing over the fence.
There's Dale Jr. right there. Look at him.
I think he got just a little bit of damage on that left front.
Let's ride with Dale Jr.
Yeah, right there he got in the back of the 30 car. Can't see a thing. Look at that.
And this is the camera, but remember, he's seeing the same thing out that windshield.
Except his windshield doesn't clear like this one.
Schrader got into the side of him a little bit, and he got a little damage to the front when he got in the back of the 30 car, but otherwise I think he's going to be all right. I'm not so sure that Mark Martin in the 12 car didn't make some contact.
Man, tire went completely over the fence outside the racetrack.
Look at this pack. Trouble off
Trouble,
turn 4.
big trouble.
Newman slams the wall. Comes Schrader, and Newman is in the air and over. Ryan Newman, last year's Rookie of the Year. The rear end ripped from the car as he slides down the asphalt, and when that car hit the grass of the tri-oval, Ryan Newman went upside down.
Come on, boy, get out.
A crash on pit road. Bobby Labonte has slammed into Ken Schrader as Schrader slid through the infield grass.
And the problem was Schrader was already wrecked. They come down pit road, and I don't think Schrader could control his car.
Ryan's moving in the car. So he is moving around trying to get out.
Not a whole lot he can do hanging there like that. I mean, he's got to have help. Pretty big boy. He didn't want to.
Kenny Schrader's climbed out. Newman has signaled that he is okay. He is a strapping young fella.
Yes, he is.
Used to driving open wheel sprint cars.
I mean, Darrell, this is a predicament trying to get unhooked out of that car upside down.
Well, you got seat belts, you got the Hans device. I mean, there's just so many things. You got to have help. Man, it ripped the rear end housing right out from under that race car. When it dug into that grass right there, it just started tearing the car apart.
Ryan Newman, USAC Silver Crown champ and Purdue University engineering graduate. He's going to climb out of that car with help, and here Bobby Labonte and Ken Schrader.
I think Schrader was in the grass, and he was going down through here, and I think his car must have gotten out of control, and Bobby Labonte was coming along, and he just slid over in front of him.
All right, you're looking down at Labonte's crew, looking to see if they have so much damage that they can't get back into the race.
There you see Ryan Newman right there.
Oh, yeah, he waved to the crowd. All right, buddy.
What a ride.
Second caution flag of the day. Newman's car got tipped into the outside wall and then slid through the infield. And when it got to the grass, it got airborne.
Let's watch her here and see what happens. Oh, Kenny Schrader got out of control, got into him. Oh, that's what happened, Mike. His right rear tire came off. Car goes airborne. Then when it hits the ground, it digs in and just rips it apart. Let me tell you, the way these cars are inside, he's like he's in a capsule in there. And so these cars, they've done such an incredibly good job with the safety and protecting the driver in these cars. Look at that thing lift up, Larry.
Just takes off like an airplane.
That's 3,400 pounds, folks, just lifting up in the air like a feather.
And the right rear wheel digs into the dirt and tears the whole rear end loose from the car.
Yeah, if the tire hadn't come off of the wheel, it probably wouldn't have turned over like that. But once the tire came off, and it dug in and flipped it.
Now, when Schrader's car was heading down pit road, he was basically a passenger because the front end of his car had been heavily damaged.
And I think that's what happened at the end of pit road. He just couldn't control his car.
Yeah, here they come. Here comes Schrader. You can see the whole right side. Well, back there, his right side's all torn. Of course, he got into the wall.
The best news, driver number 12, Ryan Newman, climbed out of that car unhurt.
Look at that Dale Jarrett's car. Wow. What a sight to see out your windshield.
I'll tell you what, I've seen Ricky Rudd flip here. I've seen Rusty Wallace flip here. I've seen Richie Petty flip here. Dale Earnhardt flip here. I've flipped here. We've all walked away. It's been quite amazing how they got these cars designed.
That's a testimony to what NASCAR's done for the safety of these cars.
What these drivers go through on Sunday. Watch, here's Ward. He tips, gets into the left rear of Kenny Schrader. Schrader then goes over to the right, hits the wall. Now here comes the car hard. That's hard impact right there already. See that opening right there?
That's probably what ripped the rear end out from underneath that race car.
Exactly. It ripped the tire off of it. Yeah.
Ripped the tire off the rear end.
Yeah. But Mike, I just want to tell you, these guys work out hard and heavy 3 days a week. They run. Their stamina is great. They are physically fit. They watch what they eat. They train hard to be able to tolerate these kinds of conditions.
Now, as Newman's car was in the air, Darrell, I saw either, well, not an exhaust pipe because those look both intact. Looked like one of the truck arms had been ripped loose so that then when that rear end hit the ground, it could just easily fly away.
I mean, again, this is coming off turn 4. You're going to see Ward Burton in the 22 get into Kenny Schrader, the 49, gets into the side of Ryan Newman in the 12. Right here, this is what we were talking about. He's bouncing down the wall. There's an opening, and that's what ripped the tire off of it. But I'm going to tell you the thing that amazed me as I looked at that last replay. Jeff Hammond was showing the rear end housing, the trailing arms underneath that thing. Those are like steel I-beams, and they were almost bent double. That's just how violent that was. There you see those two trailing arms just flopping underneath there that holds the rear end in place.
And the cars really and truly, folks, when you see the car coming apart like that, that's good news. That's dissipating energy. As that car flies apart, it's slowing itself down, and it's not stopping suddenly and hurting the driver.
Rain begins to fall here at the Daytona International Speedway. This storm system has been moving across Florida all morning. It was expected to come in here sometime this afternoon. Here are the various scenarios. Hopefully we can get this race completed during this afternoon, get the track dry and get back to racing. If not, the track is lit for night racing. We've not completed 100 laps, which would be halfway and make this race official.
Too much at this point in time. If that is indeed, they may be looking at left sides while they're getting fuel, depending on how long they're going to be out there.
Yeah, that's what I would be looking at.
Oh, trouble.
Gosh, what a mark.
Ryan Newman, hard into the wall. Michael McDowell, hard into the wall.
Caution's out, caution's out.
Terrible crash. That difficult spot between the exit of the carousel and turn 6. You saw Newman tried to drive, it looked like, for a second, and the left rear tire just fell off, now dropping the window net. And that's Michael McDowell. Look at the damage and how hard he hit that guardrail.
See, they're winning that down now on the 31. That's good to see.
The 31 hit the safer barrier. That's the guardrail where the 95 did, but the 31, reminiscent of Jeff Burton was driving this 31 car a few years ago.
Destroyed the guardrail right there where McDowell hit.
Wow.
Yeah, is that a tire up on the fence?
Yeah. That is McDowell out of the car. And there you see Newman walking toward McDowell's car. So both drivers have come from the car. The field is being red flagged. And the race is being stopped.
This looks like right here. It looks like part of the rear suspension.
Just broke the rear end housing in half.
And you see Michael getting up after catching his breath. Wow, what a great sight.
Sure is.
What a terrible crash.
Another example of the safety of these cars that NASCAR and these teams put on the track today.
Well, this part of the racetrack, you see the funnel between the guardrails. And if someone gets out of control exiting that carousel corner, it's not going to be good. We've seen this before, and we just saw it again.
Yeah, you look right over here. You see, looks like Ryan Newman overran that corner just a little bit. You see quite a few cars over there. So come back on the track. Contact between Biffle and Newman.
Yes, Biffle came back on the track. Newman was right there. Got into him and hard into that guardrail, and the tires sends him back out in the middle of the track here into McDowell.
You see the rear end housing loose from the car, and then it goes over the fence. But that last impact for McDowell was the one that probably knocked the wind out of him.
What a piece of driving by David Reagan, sliding through there between those crashed cars.
Coming right at you now.
From Regan Smith. Danica Patrick's view.
Back it down, back it down, back it down.
Well, she did a good job too.
Nice job, I just saw that on TV.
Yeah, that wasn't much time to react at a high rate of speed by her there. Good job.
Watch it, back it down, back it down, back it down.
It was Biffle coming back on the track that made Newman try to avoid running into him.
It's just hard to appreciate how much speed you're carrying out of that carousel until you see that happen.
Yeah, you're well over, I would say, definitely 130 miles an hour.
What a mess. The trouble began when Greg Biffle had troubles coming off that carousel corner, resulting in contact with Ryan Newman, and Newman's car hard into the barrier, collecting Michael McDonald's. This, the view that we caught on Greg Biffle's radio.
Went in the bus stop 3 wide. No stoppage in the guys in front of me. And
wasn't nothing I could do, you know. And there just wasn't any room for barely room for 2 cars through there. And they hit both sides of the front end.
Greg Biffle's explanation to his team.
Yeah, and there's no way that we're putting the blame on Greg Biffle for what happened by any means. They're racing hard off the corner, and we've seen dozens of times throughout this race where the driver in front gets off. But it just, in this case, it made another driver in Ryan Newman try to take an evasive action not to run into the back of the 16 car, and when he did, he lost control of his car.
But it almost sounded like it started earlier, like in the bus stop, and I don't know what kind of, incident that caused and what transpired from there.
Yeah, I heard 3 wide, and that's not going to work pretty much anywhere around here.
Well, let's look overhead. Back as far as the bus stop. That's the leaders up in front of the incident. We'll see it unfold off the corner here.
McDowell's car up on his side there for a minute.
When it hit Newman's car and it ripped that rear end housing loose, that rear end housing got under the car and almost served like a pole vault to launch that car up in the air.
Be careful if somebody runs out of fuel in the middle of this. Man, what a big problem that could create.
Now you can see that if somebody run out of fuel right there in the middle of that group, it would cause a huge wreck. We've heard, here's a car upside down.
Big time crash upside down.
It's Ryan Newman.
See Kevin Harvick there. Marcus Ambrose.
Ambrose is there, comes across. Harvick stops, and Newman's car comes to rest upside down on its roof. We were hoping it would not happen, and here with 5 laps to go, indeed it has.
Hell of a job.
I don't know what started that, but you see quite a bit of damage on that car. Flipped over 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I was looking out the window, but I could not see. That's so far. That's the furthest point away from us. Just couldn't tell what was going on there.
The safety crews are there immediately. They get in the car and will try to communicate with the driver. Kevin Harvick has pulled his car away. '39 car of Ryan Newman on its nose, on its tail, on its side, flipped over on its roof, and then slid down across the racetrack into the grassy area. 47 cars moved away of Ambrose, as well as a 29 of Harvick.
Yeah, these cars get turned around, like especially at the highest speed part of the track, at the end of the straightaway, and they get turned around and they just lift off the ground. And we could see it tumbling from that point.
Let's show you again what happened here. 5 laps to go at Talladega. And watch a car get turned around.
He and his teammate Tony Stewart got into the wall, but you can see it turns Ryan Newman around. As soon as it does, it's almost like that wing acts as to help to lift the car up. Lands on Kevin Harvick's hood. See Elliott Sadler there involved.
Elliott trying to jam the brakes on to keep him hitting the 39 as it was pirouetting up the track. He's able to miss it. Harvick able to get the car woed down as the 39 just comes rolling down on its roof onto the grass and comes over again another 360 before coming to rest on its top.
As you see him work with Ryan Newman here, these safety crews have been instructed as to what to do in these type situations. Make sure that they still have the driver's safety in mind.
Some of the drivers coming on the pit road there. The 48 is in. Some of these guys that were close on fuel. There's the 09 of Keselowski going by. Carl Edwards in.
The whole thing with Newman there is being complicated by the car being upside down. It's just so hard to get the belts off and try to get the driver out of there with that with the car sitting upside down. You can see they're being very careful. Got all the safety crews and NASCAR. There's some members of NASCAR down there also.
And these guys train over and over again, the safety crews that NASCAR have, for extricating a driver. The last thing you want to do at this point in time is get in a hurry. You want to take your time and care about the driver as the driver gets and sometimes the driver gets unhooked inside, and you don't want the driver to fall. Those belts are holding him in position.
Yeah, you don't want to unhook those belts too soon as you're upside down. And probably, if Ryan is probably okay and tell him, hey, turn this car over and then I can get out of here, because with it down like that, it makes it very difficult as a driver to get yourself out of that situation. So hopefully that's the case here, that Ryan is okay. He's telling him, hey, turn this over and we'll get out of here.
We were so hoping we would escape the big one. This is not a big one in terms of numbers of cars, but in terms of the violence of the rollover by Ryan Newman, the contact. And we'll show you again what happened here to bring out this caution. Watch here. There's the Ryan Newman's car. Tony Stewart there, his teammate.
You can see Tony Stewart was running up on the car in front of him, and instead of hitting, he rolled out of the throttle, and Ryan Newman had a big run. And when he kind of saw what was happening, he had to turn left, and that shot him across in front.
He was actually getting a little bit of a shove from Marcus Ambrose, too.
Yep.
Almost all the cars were touching going down the backstretch.
Now watch Marcus Ambrose's onboard camera as the 39 car comes across in front of him.
See right here, he gets that. The second hit, that shot him over in front of the 29, and then when he got turned around backwards when the car lifted off. See, that bump there, that turned Tony.
Wow.
You can see the car up in the air down on the inside. Unbelievable.
It lands upside down on the hood of the 29 car of Kevin Harvick. Now watch it as it happened in real time.
Up to Blaney, big run coming here.
To the inside, Newman to the front.
Nothing Denny Hamlin could do. What can Ryan Blaney now do? Here comes a push from Denny Hamlin. Oh, this thing's not over yet. Not at all.
Ryan Newman off turn 4 for the final time. Blaney to the outside, to the inside. Here comes Hamlin up the outside. Wow. Crash into the wall, into the air. Goes Newman.
Upside down.
In a shower of sparks on his roof, Ryan Newman comes across the line, 4th, and comes to rest. Scoring unofficial between Hamlin and Blaney as far as who crossed the finish line first. Newman got turned, went up in the air. As he came down, was hit by another car and launched skyward, coming down on his roof. The AMR safety team is there quickly to attend to Ryan Newman. Here is a look at the last lap. Denny Hamlin out in front of Newman and Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Ryan Blaney gets to his rear bumper. Nothing that Denny Hamlin can do other than try to tuck right into the rear bumper of Ryan Blaney, which he does an excellent job of. Newman gets a pretty good run to the turn 4, but now here comes a huge run by Ryan Blaney being pushed by Denny Hamlin. He tries to go to the outside, then the inside. They lock bumpers and turns Ryan Newman around. Upside down he goes. Corey LaJoie coming along, making contact.
Just lifting Newman's car up and over, and it comes to rest on its roof. Here is the second closest finish in Daytona 500 history. Denny Hamlin the winner in both of them. This time it is Ryan Blaney finishing second. Blaney tried the top side, tried to get low. Ryan Newman goes around and the car goes to its roof, and here's the onrushing Corey LaJoie picking it up and over.